You're watching Masters in Trading Live with Jonathan Rose.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Rose and welcome to Masters in Trading Live. At Masters in Trading Live, we get on here every single day, 11 o'clock Eastern, to go over the market and share our very best thoughts. Now, I've been trading since 1997. I've learned how to trade from the floors of the Chicago exchanges, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the Chicago Board of Trade, the Chicago Board Options Exchange. How we trade is most likely going to be a little bit differently than you've traded in the past. The biggest thing that I want when I'm looking for trades is I want to look at things from a different perspective. I want to look at things a little bit differently than everybody else. So we like to say the creative trader wins. Today, we're going to cover 4 topics. The first topic we've been covering pretty much every single day since we started February 28th, talking about the QQQs. We've been focusing on one line in the sand. We'll talk about the QQQs. Next, we'll talk about lemonade. Lemonade, an earnings trade, which will take us into earnings. We'll talk about exactly how we do our earnings trades, and we'll go over the 5 earnings trades that we've shared since February 28th. And then the last topic, we'll clean up the portfolio a little bit. But let's get to the screen. Let's get into it. So starting right here, let me pull up my pen. Mr. Penn, there you go. Okay, May 9th, we shared a trade in the QQQs. Now, the trade that we've been talking about is 433. 433, that's our line. Our line in the sand, above bullish, below bearish. Market tried to break. I believe I was quoted as saying that was the lamest fall the market's ever had, which was incredibly bullish. And then we shared a short-term bullish trade with our brand new members. A little shout out to Chris here being able to take out a little profit, Tom a little profit, and Maddie grabbed some profit as well. And here are the trades. Shared $1.72, took off at $2.73. Originally, I was thinking that we were going to get this rip your face off rally, but volatility is low. We got the, little rally. We didn't get to rip the face off, but still a nice profit for those who have been able to take that trade. Way to go. Earnings advantage. Earnings. When earnings comes around, it's like Groundhog Day. It's rinse and repeat. Earnings comes around 4 times a year. But if you think about what actually is earnings season takes up about 50% of the overall calendar. Here's how we trade earnings. Lemonade. Lemonade was an earnings trade that we had. Now, Lemonade, here's the chart. I'm not sure how great it is to see, but here's what I want you to see with Lemonade. Look at this. Going back to November, Lemonade stays in a pretty tight, band. The only time it breaks out of that band is when it has a catalyst. When it has a catalyst. All of those catalysts are during earnings season. So a name like Lemonade likes to move around its earnings event. Now, Lemonade was a trade that we shared on April 3rd. Okay? Today is May 14th. These options expired this Friday. This trade wasn't working, but all of a sudden, earnings got this sucker to move. It moved a little bit, and we're able to take off this trade for a little bit. I think we made about 9%, 10%. When we share earnings trades, really when you're long options, when you buy options, you want to hold until expiration. You don't want to get out of your options before they expire. So whenever we share a trade, we are sharing that trade until expiration. And we're going to go over a bunch of these examples. Since February 23rd, we've shared 5 earnings trades. We just opened up our Earnings Academy. We have a few more trades in our Earnings Academy, but in our free video, we've shared 5 different earnings trades going back to February 23rd. The last earnings trade was MGNX. We just took off this trade. Okay, it was an awesome trade. The trade was 15 puts, 17.5 calls. Stock comes off. We're able to buy stock at 367, easily making 500+%. Okay? The next trade that we shared was in Rely, RELY, on April 11th. Again, we wanted to be in the May expiration. Rely, we're in the puts and the calls. The puts are bearish, the calls are bullish. Rely, stock got absolutely crushed. We're able to take out 88% on Rely. SYM, we have the 37.5 puts and the 57.5 calls. SYM is a volatile stock. After earnings, SYM, but it never broke getting to in the money. So sadly, SYM, a $3 trade, because when you're buying a strangle or a straddle, you're buying both of them. It's a debit. And on this one, we didn't expire yet. SYM today is up 7%, but it sure as heck looks like this is going to be a loser. Lemonade, we went over this. We have a 9% winner in Lemonade. And then February 23rd, PSTG, we have 193%. Now, earnings trades. Not everyone is going to be a winner. Not everyone's going to be a home run. What we want to do is rinse and repeat. This approach to earnings, and I've shared exactly how we approach earnings if you go back and watch some of the other videos. I've been doing this exact same approach since I was a market maker in 2011. Every single earnings releases, there's 4 times per year for us to do this analysis. Till today, we are doing things the exact same way. Not too bad when you go 4 out of 5 with our one loser being SYM. Why was SYM a loser? Because it didn't move. Okay? Lemonade had that monster 20% rally on the last day. MGNX dropped 75%. Rely went from 20 down to 14. PSTG moved a lot as well. That's how earnings works. Rinse and repeat. It's systematic thinking. We want the odds to be in our favor over time and just make good decisions. That's how we approach our earnings. FSLR. I want to touch on FSLR. I'll jump on here too. FSLR, here's a name that I shared April 25th. Now, I shared FSLR once the Qs got under that line in the sand because I noticed that our portfolio needed some bearish exposure. So going back to the video where I shared FSLR, I said, hey guys, if you don't have bearish exposure, consider FSLR. Now, sadly, FSLR has rallied ever since we shared the trade. Now, when you buy options, you need to figure out what you're comfortable risking before you get into the trade. For instance, FSLR, say you're comfortable risking $1,000 for this trade. Well, this trade was shared April 25th, right about here. It was shared because we were outside the expected move, and we were also seeing unusual options activity. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce our way, and the market goes against. When you buy options, consider how much you're comfortable risking before you get into the trade, but please, we cannot use stops when you trade options, okay? The execution is not going to allow you to do that because options strikes might be 50 cents at 70 cents to execute. That's a 20-cent wide spread. We don't want you making lots of trades in this spread. So therefore, when you have an idea, figure what you're comfortable risking, and then you're in. After that, guys, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. That's something that we just don't have control over. It's like systematic thinking is how casinos think. That's what we want to do. Think of the earnings trades like a casino would think about a blackjack table. You just want the players to play. You want them to gamble over time because you know that over time the odds of that blackjack game are in your favor. Earnings trades are not too different. We want to make good decisions over time. If we can win 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, limit our losses, and make 500+% on our gains, that's a darn good strategy. For anyone that jumped into our All Access program, our All Access program covers earnings, it covers divergence, and we have our earnings program, we have our divergence program, and then we have our advanced notice program, and then finally we have our blockchain program. Blockchain, earnings, and divergence are all in the All Access. If you're in that All Access, don't you guys go anywhere because I have another earnings trade to share right now. For everybody else, trade smart. Remember, the creative trader wins. I'll see you tomorrow live, 11 o'clock.
Join us every weekday at live.mastersintrading.com.